Welcome to the stream. No, I don't want to play the safety dance song. What is that all about? What are you? Well, why is my music player of choice bugging out? Alright, so yeah, welcome to the stream. It's Tuesday. Happy Higurashi Tuesday or normal Tuesday, however you celebrate. I'm gonna be 100% honest. About 10 minutes before going live here, I was like just overcome with just like a bunch of tired energy. So if today's stream ends up being short, if we only get through like one section of Higurashi, one little reading section, and then we call it quits, I call it quits, most specifically. I apologize that it might end up short. I am just so tired, and it's only Tuesday. I've had a, it's like I've had a long week. Oh, it's only Tuesday type situation. So apologies about that, all that, but I didn't want to miss stream, and I didn't want to not read at least a bit here tonight. So this is what you get, whatever this ends up being. If it's just like ends up being an hour or so, I don't know. I'm trying my best though. But aside from that, like I said, happy Higurashi reading day to you and yours. I think I confirmed this. Yeah. This is officially Higurashi stream 100. If we combine all the different parts of all the different Higurashi streams here on this channel. So that's 100 Higurashi individual streams over the course of now spanning a little over a year. It involves the main 8-chapter arcs. And then we got all of these extra arcs, console arc stuff. We had some mini-game streams. We had some live-action television show streams that we watched. And we're still not done. I'm going to place my bet now, since it's stream 100. I bet we get to 1... when all is said and done. I'm going to say 136. 136 streams. Actually, no. If we go to 136, that's going to take us all the way to, like, most likely, like, 3/4 of the year, wouldn't it? Let's hope it's not 136. I don't know. That just seems right. I'm going to say 136. But that means then I'd have to probably do, like, the hyper speed reading kind of thing where we read, like, multiple times throughout a week. I don't know. Tired brain. It's hard to think of numbers. But yeah. We'll just continue to read. Something about the moon. Okay, so what happened last stream? Was it the Mion and Shion making amends? I think that was the last stream. Very important thing, you would think, to have the outcome go in the club's way. Mion and Shion not being at each other. Sorry, I'm still thinking about Higurashi stream 100. Jesus, so many days of Higurashi we've done. Like I said, I think I said this in the last stream, but if not, I said it in a different stream. I maybe made mention of it, and if I haven't said it, then I'm saying it now. I'm pretty sure this is the longest of the console arcs. So I'm pretty sure I have it on decent authority that, like, once we get through this one, each subsequent arc is relatively shorter. Like, it starts lessening in amount of length. I'm pretty sure that's correct. So, this one, it feels like we've been on this one for a while, but it's because it's a beefy, a lot of things happening. I think as we start going through the list, they will start lessening, I think. can't 100% confirm it, but it's my thought. All right, throat is cleared. Let's go ahead and get into this. I forgot when it became like this. Or rather, I found it bothersome to remember. There are at least a dozen potential triggers for it, but I never wanted to think about where my downfall began. All these people around me, and there's not one good person among them. I hated just remembering the faces of my family members, so I had no interest in how they're doing. I believe that all women are enemies, and that it's always eat or be eaten. All the men who tried to seduce were totally worthless. So dating them was more annoying than it was boring. Now I'm angry. Why are all the people around me so useless and idiotic? When they open their mouths, all they ever do is talk about themselves and drone on about their own desires. Even if they churn out affectionate language to flatter me, that's like throwing it inside the filthy, smelly gutter of ulterior motives. So no matter how vibrant their words are, they immediately sink down and disappear. That made me feel absolutely disgusted. I spat down on the ground. The inside of my mouth had that burnt, irritating smell from earlier. I looked around for something to drink, but there were no vending machines on this backwater country road. That pissed me off even more, so I felt like I wanted to scream at someone. Anyone. I haven't done anything bad. It's everyone else who's in the wrong. If things had played out properly, I'd be moving into a luxury apartment in Gogura right about now. Could have been lounging on a brand new sofa drinking alcohol. Or I could be counting stacks of cash while sitting on a first-class international flight. Anyway, just thinking about the people who robbed me of my certain happiness made my blood boil. To hell with families. Don't say something so cocky, motherfucker. Damn. When I remembered what that boring middle-aged man Ryugu, or whatever his name was, said, I couldn't help but shout. I was not expecting a terrible Rina person perspective. For a second, I thought this was going to be someone else when we were just reading the words. I thought, it didn't make a ton of sense, and now it makes a lot more sense, but my brain was like, is this like a weird, I was like, is this a weird Takano perspective thing? And we're seeing some kind of weird inside, but no, it's even stranger. Even after giving him such a good time, he suddenly cut all contact with me. Oh, we're seeing the repercussions of the whole... Okay. As strange as it was, I later heard through a proxy lawyer that our engagement had been unilaterally cancelled. And to make it even worse, the lawyer was one of the Sonozakis. He said something totally ridiculous, so I yelled at him and demanded compensation. But then out of nowhere, he threatened to peacefully end things by telling that bastard Tetsu about it. Damn it! Ah, shit. Fuck this shit. God, that's like me on a daily basis. Just that anger energy. It's not like I even care about Tetsu anyway. He's a loud, touchy, and dim-witted guy who refused to do any work. Even though he was hardly doing anything this time, he was so obsessed with taking his share that he wanted half. So when I started bringing in money from that old fart Ryugu, I decided it was time to cut him off. But that good-for-nothing bastard was supposed to foot the bill for my apartment. I smashed the whiskey bottle in my hand against the telephone pole in a burst of rage. The glass bottle let out a flashy sound as it shattered, and then drenched the surrounding area in the characteristically rich odor of whiskey. There was quite a bit left, but I had already wasted it, so I couldn't help but be annoyed when I thought this was my only substitute for my retirement money. All of a sudden, I got a transfer notice. I was hoping to rob the treasury funds from the Sonozakis. After careful planning, we succeeded in obtaining a copy of the key. With that, we should have been able to gain pretty much all of the money. The money is mine! And everything was going fine until we snuck into the office. Nevertheless, the plan failed because we couldn't get the money out of the main safe. The key to the safe room didn't work. Unbelievable. Even after such meticulous planning, knowing that we'd be slaughtered if they found us, we should have been able to obtain a nest egg, but it had already hatched. Are you kidding me? And of course, the crew directed their anger and disappointment at the person responsible for getting the keys, me. Everyone started blaming one another, and in the end, the whole gang disbanded. But I can't stop feeling frustrated. I wanted to at least dish out some payback for throwing me under the bus, so I snitched the robbery plan to the general manager, Kasai. Of course, it goes without saying that I kept my involvement secret from him, but Kasai lightly laughed at me and then spoke while pulling out a pistol. That's enough of this dog and pony show. Did you seriously think I didn't know about this?
職だけは持たせてやる。
Out of kindness, I'll at least let you keep your job.
とっとと消え失せろ。
Now, get lost. And then, General Manager had me transferred from the bar I'd been working at to some second-class bar. Of course, that bar was even cheaper and more bland than the previous one, and only the most miserly of customers would be caught there. Ah! Shit, god damn it! Thinking back on it pissed me off. I couldn't say anything with Kasai wielding a gun in plain view. I was scared shitless and ran away, and now it's just shameful and mortifying. Independent rich life was hanging right in front of me, and yet now I'm a drunkard who's been demoted to a second-class joint. Damn it. Intense nausea flared up inside me and I puked all across the side of the road. I frowned at the nasty smell of the sour gastric juices while looking at the filth on the ground in front of me. A strange sensation suddenly came over me. Man, a terrible thing couldn't have happened to a worse person. What the hell is this? This filth in front of me is the price of trying to escape from this hideous life. But religion says that wanting to live about your position and find happiness is worthy of divine punishment. But that's not right. What's wrong with wanting to be happy? I did all I could. How many times have women thought about selling themselves to go on living in this harsh world? So it's not my fault things ended up like this. The bad guys are the ones who drove me to this. Family, friends, associates, and other people like that. Why did I not have the bare minimum amount of luck to be blessed with people like that? That's obvious. It's their fault. Shit. Suddenly I noticed a building that looked like a clinic in front of me. I'm in no mood to see Tetsu's annoying face. Thought had driven me to walk away from Okinomiya, but I realized that I ended up in Hinamazawa at some point without even noticing. It was outside of business hours, so naturally the inside of the clinic was dark and quiet. I could only vaguely make out the outline of the building in the darkness of the night, but I felt a chilly atmosphere and began lightly trembling. However, at the same time I had a thought. This might be the opportunity I was asking for. It's a clinic, so clearly it has doctors. They sell medicine at high prices, and they bring in plenty of money through medical insurance. I'm not sure how much income a rural clinic pulls in, but I'm sure it brings in more cash than the other villagers around here. Plus, it has that pale-faced weakling of a doctor, Irie. I've seen him in Okinomiya, driving an expensive sports car and wearing name-brand clothes. Just thinking it over for a moment, it's clear he has a decent salary. And if that's the case, then naturally this clinic must have some good money tucked away somewhere. I don't care anymore. It was easy to imagine a clinic wouldn't have much security, and even if I'm arrested and sent to jail, I'll be out in just a few years as long as I keep quiet. No need to think about what to do after release until then. Anyway, I'm sure the trouble in Okinomiya will cool off by then. And more importantly, if things go well, I'll be able to score a lot of money, even if it's not as much as I would have gotten from the Sonozaki treasury funds.
Nice idea.
Kya ha ha ha. Nice idea. How hilarious it all was. This was totally different from the Sonozaki since there was no risk of death. Considering the risk and rewards, it's clear what I should do. I wondered why nobody ever suggested it, even though we had so many of us. Now then. I delicately crept toward the clinic and took a look around. I'll have to pass on going toward the main entrance. Can't imagine they'd leave it unlocked, and it'd be hard to pry it open without tools. In which case, the natural choice is to go through a window. They actually make for an unexpected blind spot. Air conditioning can sometimes make patients feel sick, so they regularly open and close windows for fresh air. And it's pretty common to accidentally forget to lock one of the windows after opening them, leaving nothing but a screen in the way. Yup. I cautiously approached the window and pushed to see if it was locked. No good. And the one beside it, also no good. As I repeated that several more times, I started to think that the surrounding houses were far enough away I could just break the glass with a rock, but the moment I thought that, I found a window that opened without any resistance. Lucky me. I suddenly muttered that to myself while grabbing the window frame with both hands to pull my body up. Then, I leaned my upper body forward to try and lift my legs, but in my drunken state it didn't quite work. I fell into the room. Ow. Damn it. I'm curious why we're getting this Rena offshoot. I wonder if something's gonna come of this, or if this just literally is, let's just take a moment to see her piss away her life somehow. I started swearing without thinking, but then quickly began grinning. My body ached all over and I may have actually hurt something, but I was in a great mood, so I didn't care at all.
さて、お宝はどこか。
Now, where do they keep their treasure?
しみったれてるね。
How stingy. I finally found a coin purse in one of the desk drawers and stuffed it in my pocket while kicking a chair in frustration. It made a dull sound as it slid into the corner of the room, hit the wall, and then fell over. I spent what seemed like hours looking through some sort of doctor's office, and all I had to show for it was a coin purse full of a few 10 and 100 yen coins. Of course, I was unsatisfied. That money would be gone after just 2 days of eating and drinking tops.
せっかく腹決めて忍び込んだんだ。この程度で収まるかっての。
After all the trouble of sneaking in here, I'm not going to settle for just this. I opened the door and stepped out into the hallway. With nothing but the dim glow of the security light, I could see a few other doors leading to rooms. My intuition told me that among them, the door at the end of the hallway had the most obvious signs of money inside. Trusting that hunch, I put my hand on the knob, turned, and pulled. The door opened easily, and inside I found a staircase leading to the second floor with a mound of cardboard boxes packed inside it. What's in the boxes? When I picked one up to look inside, I noticed a staircase leading to the basement behind them, hidden in the shadows and nearly impossible to notice at first glance.
ますます匂うね。
This is looking more and more suspicious. I felt no fear as I descended into the creepy darkness with my head held high. I carefully crept down the stairs one step at a time. Oh, she's going all the way.
なんだいこりゃ。
What is this? I was shocked. Surprisingly enough, the basement was just as large as the first floor above, and there were several rooms with the same layout as the first floor. The Erie Clinic has 2 floors and many rooms. Plus, there's plenty of open land around it. Didn't seem like it required building a basement for additional rooms. And yet, choosing to build these rooms underground instead of expanding normally meant that there must be used to hide something important. With that understanding, I put my hand on the doorknob leading to the front room and felt exhilarated as I opened it. I grimaced at the nasty stench of chemicals as soon as the door opened, but when I peered into the dimly lit room, what I saw was... What? There were shelves packed with tons of specimens in glass tubes. It was a huge aquarium, big enough to fit a human or even a hippo inside. And it was connected to a machine that seemed to be monitoring it or recording data. It was a complex machine like an oscilloscope, periodically making electronic sounds. Boop, boop, boop. No, looking closer, there were many cylinders set up inside the tank. I looked more carefully, trying to figure out what was inside, and gasped. It was... sea monkeys. No. It was a human brain and spinal cord.
まさか本物？
No way. Is that real? And then, at last, I finally realized that I had come to a completely outrageous place. All the blood in my body froze over like I had turned into sherbet. Sherbet? Sherbet? Sorbet? Sherbet? I don't know if there's a clear consensus. It's one of those words that I've seen everyone pronounce differently and write it differently and say it differently, and I just, whatever that frozen treat is, oh, however you want it pronounced. Imagine that. And it filled me with an awful feeling as it rushed through me. I was still feeling drunk just a moment ago, and it vanished in an instant. Run away. Get out of here now. Thinking that, I quickly took a step back, but I brushed against something sitting on a desk and it fell to the ground. It let out a dull sound as it landed by my feet, but my eyes opened wide the moment I saw it. It was a handgun, but clearly not the type used by gangsters. It was a military-grade weapon.
なんなのさ、ここは。
What is that doing in a place like this?
あらあら、あなたなの？
Oh god, the 2 worst people are meeting up right now. Oh dear, it's you.
どんなネズミかと思って来てみたら、がっかりね。
I came here wondering what sort of mouse snuck in. How disappointing. Caught my breath and quickly looked back. A woman dressed in a nurse's outfit was standing there. I've seen her before, I'm sure. That's Takano, right? She's a nurse that works at the clinic, Takano.
大山明堂してネズミ一匹。それもドブネズミとはね。
The mountains brought forth a mouse, but it was actually a nasty rat.
面白そうだから泳
What a
がせて
line,
み
what
た
a
けど
bar.
どうやらただのコソ泥ってとこか。
I left you alone because it seemed amusing, but looks like you're just a petty thief. Takano remained completely calm and firmly glared at me as she slowly approached, one step at a time. She greeted me with a kind smile and a gentle demeanor, but she didn't drop her guard for a moment. And most of all, couldn't see any emotion in her eyes, illuminated by this dimly lit room. They were as cold as balls of glass, and they firmly stared straight ahead, not veering away for even an instant. That's not human. No, those are not the eyes of a human being. Stop!
それ以上動くと
Don't come any closer! Feeling desperate, I reached for the military handgun that fell by my feet and aimed at the nurse right in front of me. My hands were lightly shaking, but I gripped it tight in both hands and threatened her with my finger on the trigger.
あら、
Oh dear.
大層なものをお持ちね。
That's quite a frightening thing you've got there. When Takano saw that, her eyes opened wide like she was surprised and she stopped approaching. And yet, her smile widened into a grin. The more she smiled, the more her eyes, her mouth, and the entire atmosphere of the room grew more wicked. That absolute terror dominated my entire mind and body. It was like standing before a demon.
この実験室一つ一つはね、それぞれとても重要な施設なのよ。
Every one of these laboratories is a very important facility.
たくさんの高価な最新の科学技術がふんだんに惜しげもなくつぎ込まれている。
No expense was spared to fill them with lavish modern science and technology.
ちなみに、そのあなたの背後にある水槽はその中でも高い方かしら。
And by the way, that tank behind you is one of the most expensive additions.
まさに人類の英知を深める厳かな神への儀式の祭壇というにふさわしいものよ。
It's like a ritual altar to the gods for praying to deepen human wisdom.
神儀式だって
Ritual? To the gods?
ええ、そうよ。
Yes, that's right.
残念ながら人間として命を長らえることができなかった人がその力を神へと捧げることでシャングリラへの道が開かれる。
Those who have unfortunately failed to live as a full life as humans can still offer their power to the gods and open the way to Shangri-La.
そこにはあらゆる差別も苦悩も憎悪もなく、まさに人が己の意志でもって欲望を自由に、そして永遠に育み楽しむことができる。
There's no discrimination, hate, or suffering, and people are free to continue indulging their desires for all eternity.
なんて理想の世界だとは思わない？
Doesn't that sound like an ideal world? Takano paid no heed to the gun pointed straight at her, but instead opened her arms wide and started talking while euphorically gazing up at the ceiling. And the gibberish she spoke was both creepy and horrifying.
うるさい
Shut up!
私そんなこと聞いてないし聞く気もないよ
I'm not listening. I don't want to hear it.
あら、残念。
Oh dear. How disappointing.
せっかくね物語のネタになるかと思ったのに。
I thought I put a lot of effort into that bedtime story
閻魔大王の
of being judged in the afterlife. What? Next moment, Takano quickly pulled a handgun from behind her back and fired. Then I fell to the ground on the spot. Something hot and slimy came oozing out of my right shoulder. Damn, non-stop, and I felt my consciousness quickly fading. Shit, damn it.
ダメね。
That's no good.
構えたらすぐに撃ちなさいって習わなかったのかしら。
Did nobody teach you to fire the moment you have a shot?
ま、その銃は弾なんか入ってなかったから結果は同じだったけどね。
Although, that gun wasn't even loaded, so I guess this would have ended the same way regardless. She casually pulled my hair to lift me while looking down at me, writhing in agony. She seemed to be enjoying herself. And then, she brought her face with that warped smile closer to me and blew warm breath into my ear. She spoke in a cool, calm, and inorganic voice.
せっかくだから楽しんでいきなさいな。
You've come all this way, so please enjoy it.
実はね、とっても素敵な新薬を研究している真っ最中だったの。
The truth is, I'm in the middle of researching a lovely new drug.
既存の比較にもならない夢の最終兵器がね。
An ultimate weapon, even beyond your wildest dreams.
どう？素敵だと思わない？
Doesn't that sound wonderful? Ah! Oh. That was the last thing I heard in this world as a human. Oh shit. She's going down. Suddenly her eyes opened wide. Her whole body lost its strength and she fainted. Foam came erupting from her mouth and her expression looked ridiculous, like something you'd see in manga.
あらあら、話はまだ終わってないのに。
Oh dear, I wasn't done talking yet.
まあ、
She's so cold.
実験前にいいサンプルが手に入ったわ。
Anyway, at least I got a nice sample before the experiment. Just then, I sensed someone behind me and turned back. A man with a dignified-looking face and dressed in military uniform was standing at the entrance of the room with a mysterious expression. It was Okanogi, the commander of the mountain dogs that guard this institute, who effectively worked directly for me.
セキュリティシステムの感度はどうかしら？
How strong is our security system?
ちゃんと作動していた？
Is it working properly? Excuse me, is it working properly?
使用通りの内容はとりあえず機能していたようですね。
For the time being, I'd say it's working as intended.
赤外線と音波での侵入者チェック、それに伴う詰め所への情報伝達は全て異常なしです。
The infrared and sound wave-based intruder detection systems are still transmitting back to the station. Everything is normal.
ただ、全てのシステムが一元で管理されてるってのは防犯上では致命的かもしれませんがね。
However, the systems are all centrally managed, so that may present a fatal flaw in intruder prevention.
あら、どういうことかしら？
Oh, what do you mean by that?
要するにシステムの根元をダウンしてしまえば全てスルーってことです。
In short, if the backbone of the system goes down, then everything goes with it.
ああ、そうは言っても解除するためには3歳以上のコード認識が必要ですが。
Although, it takes a code from someone ranked major or higher to disengage the system.
ということは、私と所長がここに盗みに入れば、あっさり通過できてしまえるのね。
So you're saying if the director I wanted to rob this place would be able to get past it easily?
なら今度は、私が泥棒役で侵入してみようかしら。
Maybe next time I'll be the burglar sneaking in. Okanogi shrugged his shoulders and bitterly laughed at my joke. Then, he looked down at the idiotic female rat laying by my feet.
大丈夫ですかね、こいつで。
But, isn't she going to be a problem?
問題はないわ。
No problem.
この女、園崎組の上納金に手を出そうとしたそうだから。
This woman was apparently trying to steal treasury funds from the Sonozaki group.
そっち方面で処分されたって警察も思うでしょうよ。
The police will assume they were the ones who disposed of her.
まあ、忍び込んできたが運の尽きってやつですか。
Well, she did manage to sneak in, but I guess her luck ran out. Okanogi lightly kicked her head with his toe as he said that. The level of shock was enough to wake her, but he could tell she was still faintly breathing.
それじゃあ、2時間後に予定の場所で開始。
Alright then, let's begin at the planned location in 2 hours.
実験参加者はきちんと予防薬の投与を済ませること。
The test subject will be properly administered prophylactic
巻
drugs.
き添えを食ったりしたら笑い話にもならないからね。
If things get mixed up, it'll be no laughing matter. He. Noise, Akasaka-san!
ご無沙汰しておりますよ。
Long time no see!
大石さん、
Oishi-san,
その後もお変わりなく。
you haven't changed a bit. No.
変わりなくなんてひどいですな。
What are you saying?
最近リンゴダイエットっていうのは始めましてね。
I've been on an apple diet lately and I've lost a few pounds.
ちょいと体重が絞れてきたつもりだったんですがね。
Can't you tell?
そういう赤坂さんはこれはまた見違えるくらいにたくましくなったじゃないですか。
But just look at you. You look great.
この程度には鍛えてないと体が持ちませんので。
Well, I have to stay in shape for my job.
あれクラちゃん、その人あの人かい？
Hey, Kurchan, is this the guy?
何年か前にうちに来た東京の公安の。
The one who came here a few years ago from Tokyo?
本田屋さん、ご無沙汰しております。
Nice to see you again, too, Hondaya-san.
その説はお世話になりました。
It has been a while.
あ
It's
ん
been a
た
while.
随分とまあ立派に成長しちゃったじゃないですか。
My, look at you.
かあ、若いっていいね。
Must be nice to be so young.
さあさあさあさあ、せっかく来てくれたんです。
Well, since you came such a long way,
もうお店に行っちゃいましょう。
let's just head to a restaurant.
馴染みの店ですから、のれん前でも入れてくれるでしょう。
I'm a regular there, so I'm sure we can get in before it opens.
さあさあ行きましょう。
Come on.
大井さん、いいんですか？
Oishi-san, are you sure?
まだ勤務時間中じゃないんですか？
Don't you still have some work to do?
何言ってんですか。
What? Not at all.
東京本庁からいらっしゃられた特命刑事との特別研修ですよ。
I'm on special training with a mission investigator from Tokyo headquarters.
さあさあ行きましょう。
Come on, let's get going.
はい、ちょいと先に電話してきます。
Oh wait, I've got to make a phone call first.
赤坂さんに比べたらカモネギみたいな連中ですがね。
The greenhorns compared to someone like you.
ちょいとメンツを揃えまして。
But I've put some help together for us.
ああ、いいところに。
Oh, there you
クマ
are.
ちゃん。
Kuma-chan.
バチッとポンチーしに行きませんか？
Do you want to come play with us tonight?
大井さん、本当に変わっておられませんね。
Oishi-san, you really haven't changed a bit. Kasuka used to think Oishi wasn't serious enough about work, but after experiencing many different things in the real world, that preconception had completely disappeared. Oishi is that way because of his experience. It's not always best to take things seriously. In this world, sometimes being that frank can help. In Kasuka's case, people often tell him to relax more, but in Oishi's case, maybe he should straighten out a little.
さあさ
Come on,
あ、赤坂さん、行きましょう。
Kasuka-san, let's go.
ええ、参りましょう。
Yes, at once.
いい返事です。
Yeah, good
だ
answer.
いぶベテランの余裕ができてきました。
You sound like a veteran police officer now.
そうでなくちゃ。
Glad to hear it. The old Kasuka would have thought Oishi was making fun of him, but by now he could take it as an honest assessment.
赤坂さんも随分強くなりましたね。
Boy, you sure can drink now, Kasuka-san.
なんだかお酒じゃ勝てない気がしてきましたよ。
I don't think I can keep up with you.
いやー、オイルと酒に弱くなるってのは本当ですな。
It must be true that when one gets old, he can't drink as much as before.
ご謙遜を。
You're too modest.
それに私が強いのは情報収集が下戸では務まらないからです。
I'm just better because an intelligence officer has to be able to hold his liquor.
ちゃんと予算を切って常に若手と特訓してますから。
I have a budget set aside at all times for training with my young colleagues.
日本酒、洋酒、紹興酒。
Japanese sake, Western liquor, Chinese liquor, whatever.
のれんをくぐることもあればミラーボールのお店の時もありますよ。
Sometimes I drink at little bars and sometimes at expensive clubs. Ah!
そりゃいい、そりゃいい。
That sounds pretty good.
今度ぜひ私もコーチに参りますよ。
I'll have to join you to coach them sometime.
ええ、ぜひ享受してやってください。
Yes, please come teach us your tricks.
最近の若いのは自分は生まれつき飲めないとか
ひよったことばかり言ってますよ。
Young guys nowadays often talk about how they can't drink.
私だって最初は全然ダメでしたがね。
I couldn't drink at all at first, you know?
酒は飲めば飲むほどに強くなり、ますますに旨味がわかるようになるんです。
The more you drink, the better your body adjusts to alcohol and the more you enjoy drinking.
そうです、そうです。
That's right!
聞いてます、クマちゃん。
Are you listening, Kuma-chan?
面目ないっす。
Yeah, I heard.
これでもだいぶ強くなったんですよ。
I can down quite a few now.
そうだのう。大石と組まされたばかりの頃は、お前、乾杯からウーロン茶だったからの。
No, really, you're right. When you first teamed up with Oishi, you were already drinking oolong tea with the toast.
それはいけない。
That's no good.
乾杯は重要な意味があるんです。
A toast has a very important meaning.
そこでアルコールを飲まないというのは、自分はこの飲み会に不服があるって言ってるようなもんなんです。
If you don't drink any alcohol, you're saying you're not satisfied with the party.
だから私はそんなことする若手どもにはきっちり指導してますよ。
So when I see young people like that, I tell them.
一気飲みしろって言ってんじゃない。
I'm not saying that you have to drink up in one gulp,
とにかく最初の一杯だけは中ジョッキ。
but your first round has to at least be a medium mug. When Akasuka first came to Okinomiya, he was very nervous, but there was no trace of that tension left in him. Seeing that, Oishi realized just how much Akasuka had learned in the past few years.
よっ、赤坂さんかっこい
There you go, Akasuka-san.
い。いや、もう本当に頼もしくなっちゃいましたね。
Man, you've really grown a lot more dependable.
私にとっては定年までの残り数年でしかなかった間に、赤坂さんはこれほどたくましく成長したんですから。
During the years I've been waiting to retire, you've grown so much.
いやいや、老兵は去るべきだと痛感します。
It might be time for the younger generation to take over, huh?
そんなことはないです。
That's not true.
私も嫌になるくらい経験がものを言う世界というのを勉強しました。
If there's one thing I've learned, it's that the only thing that matters is experience.
力仕事や現場仕事なんかは私たち若造に任せて、大石さんのようなベテランにはぜひデスクで胸を張ってこき使ってもらいたいもんです。
Leave the hard labor and the crime scenes to us young officers, while you veterans take pride at your desks and work us to the bone.
ですってよ。聞いてますか、クマちゃん。
Did you hear that, Kuma-chan? Did you?
いたたたたたたた、すいませんすいません。
Okay, okay, I heard him.
頑張るっす。
I'll give it everything I've got.
大石、熊谷君も頑張っちょるぞい。
Oishi, Humagai-kun is already giving it everything he's got.
めんどくさがりのお前さんに代わって、よくまめに歩き回っとる。
He's diligent about his patrols to make up for your distaste for them.
大石さんはめちゃくちゃな人でしょ。
You know how Oishi-san is, right?
私が大石さんと組んだのはほんの数日間だったんですが、あなたの気持ちもよくわかりますよ。
I've only worked with him for a few days, but I understand what you're going through.
でもね、大石さんがきっとあなたを鍛えてくれますから。
Even so, he'll make you into a good cop.
最後まで信じてついていってください。
Just believe in him.
わかりました。頑張るっす。
Yes, sir. I'll do my best.
でもお酒は鍛えられても麻雀までは無理っすよ。
But even if I learn how to drink, I can't learn how to be good at mahjong.
かみさんに給料を渡す前に大石さんに取られるんです。
Oishi-san takes all my pay before I can give it to my wife.
いや、麻雀も経験なんです。
Mahjong is intellectual baggage you need.
打った場数が強さと自信になるんですよ。
The more you play, the more confident you get.
後でご一緒しましょう。まずは負けない打ち方を伝授します。
Let's play together later. Teach you how not to lose.
大石、いい若者だの。
Oishi, he's a good guy, huh?
お前さんが無茶やってた頃にちょっとだけ似とるの。
He kind of reminds me of how you were when you were young.
まさかまさか。
That can't be!
私はこんな2枚目じゃありませんでしたから。
I wasn't nearly as handsome. No. It was unusual for Oishi to enjoy anyone's company this much. Kasuga and Oishi only worked together for a few days. They'd exchanged some holiday cards since, but that was about it. Oishi had no idea how happy it would make him to see such a greenhorn grow into a dependable cop. Oishi always thought he wanted to be active until the day he retired, but after seeing such a dependable colleague, he began to think that maybe it was time for him to step down. Oishi and Kasuga enjoyed the reunion more than they thought they would. The owner of the place was bringing the electric sign inside. All the chairs were up on the tables, and the owner's wife was cleaning the floor. There was nobody else around. Judging by the clock, it was almost 3 a.m.
フラちゃんたちは久しぶりの再会なんでしょ
This is a reunion, right, Kura-chan?
ゆっくりしてっていいよ
Take your time, okay?
帰る時だけ起こしてくれねえかな鍵しなきゃなんねえから
Just wake me up when you leave so I can lock the door.
すんませんな、気を使わせちゃって。
Sorry about this. Thank you. There wouldn't be anything else open at such a late hour. Oishi and his colleagues still wanted to talk, so they decided to stay. Kumagai couldn't fight his sleepiness and was nodding off. They were talking about Kasuga's job. Kasuga works at a department specializing in public safety. Oishi and the others were interested in all his stories of danger and bravery.
それで実はこちらに来たらフルでリカという少女に会いたいと思っていたんです
Anyway, I want to meet with Rika Furude.
フルデリカって、フルデ家の忘れがたみのリカちゃまですか？
Rika Furude? The orphaned daughter of the Furude family, Rika-chama?
忘れがたみ
Orphaned?
ということは彼女の両親は
What happened to her parents? Rika Furude had predicted that there would be an incident in Hinamizawa every year for the following 5 years. Her parents, according to her, were supposed to be killed on the 3rd year running.
ねえ。あれはお社様のたたりの3年目ですから。昭和56年ですかね。
Yeah, it was the 3rd year of the curse of Oishiro-sama. 1981 must have been.
フルデ夫妻がちょいと引っかかる形でお亡くなりになりまして。
The Furude couple died rather suspiciously.
赤坂さんが南沢に行かれたちょうど3年後の話です。
It was 3 years after he came to Hinamizawa, Kasuga-san.
3年後
3 years?
私が南沢を訪れてから3年後の6月のことなんですか
Did it happen in June? 3 years after I visited?
ねえ、そうです。
Yeah, that's about right.
どうしました？
Why?
何か気にかかることでも？
Is there something about that bothers you? Kasuga shut his eyes tightly to chase away the alcohol in his brain and tried to remember the girl's prediction. He had, after all, come here to confirm it.
私が訪れたのは昭和53年です
I came here in 1978.
その翌年にダム建設の監督が亡くなられたということは
And what about the dam construction site manager?
そうだ彼は私と麻雀を打った方のはず
Oh, that's the guy I played mahjong with.
あの方はその後どうなさっていますか
How has he been doing?
新聞にドンと載ったと思ったんですが、こっちの地方だけなのかな。
It was in the newspaper, I think. Maybe it was just in the local ones.
ねえ。その翌年に作業員たちとの喧嘩で殺されてしまいまして。
Well, he was killed in a fight with the other workers that year.
恐ろしい殺され方をした後、体中をバラバラに引き裂かれて捨てられてしまいます。
After being killed in a gruesome manner, the body was torn apart and disposed of.
その遺体をバラバラにされたということ
Was he mutilated?
なんだ、知ってるじゃないですか。
See? You know about it already.
その通りです。未だ右腕が見つかりませんでね。
That's exactly it. His right arm is still missing, too.
お気の毒なことです。
It's so unfortunate.
その翌年の昭和55年の6月の今
The following year, on the same day in June 1980,
日、聡子の両親が突き落とされて死にます。
Satoko's parents will be pushed to their deaths.
あるいは事故と言うべきかもしれない。
Maybe it should be called an accident.
不幸な事故。
A lamentable accident.
続けて確認します。
I'll continue.
さらにその翌年、監督の殺人事件の翌年です。
The following year, the year after the manager's death.
確かそうだ。
I think... Let's see. I know...
多分聡子さんという女性の方だと思います。
Satoko-san it was. I think she's a little girl.
その方のご両親が転落でお亡くなりになるということは。
Did her parents die in an accident?
おや、お詳しいですね。
Oh, how much do you already know?
そうです。ダムの賛成派だった北条夫妻が旅行先の展望台から転落しましてね。
That's right. The dam supporters, the Hojo couple, fell off a cliff while on vacation.
事故か事件か未だにはっきりしませんが。
Though it still hasn't been confirmed if it was an accident or an incident.
そしてさらにその翌年の昭和56年の6月の今日、
And the following year, on the same day in June 1981,
私の両親が殺されます。
my parents will be killed.
そしてその翌年には
In the following year,
はい。古出理香のご両親がお亡くなりになります。
yes, Rigafurude's parents died.
ですが、どうもこいつも今一つ腑に落ちない事件でしてね。
But none of those incidents make sense.
お前さん、随分とお社様のたたり関係に詳しいの。
You sure know a lot about the curse of Oyashiro-sama.
この事件、地元の圧力であまり公にされとらんはずなんだが。
None of those incidents were made public because of pressure from the locals.
東京にいながらよくそれだけ知れたもんだわい。
So I'm surprised at how much you know about them.
なんてことだ。
I can't believe this.
だが、いくらお前さんでも次の年は無理だろうの。
But even you can't know about the following year.
何しろ、4年目から秘匿捜査指定がかかっとる。
Because starting with the fourth year in a row, we decided to investigate secretly.
いえ、多分
He's like, no, I know. I think I know about it anyway.
そしてさらに翌年の昭和57年の6月の今日、
And the following year, on the same day, in June 1982,
聡子の意地悪おばが頭を割られて死にます。
Satoko's mean aunt will die. Her head will be smashed in.
その翌年ですから、つまり昨年です。
The following year, so that was last year.
先ほどの聡子さんのおばにあたる方が頭部撲殺のような形で殺されてはいませんか？
Satoko-san from earlier, wasn't her aunt beaten to death?
そうです。ビンゴです。
Shit, you're right.
赤坂さん、どうしてそんなことまでご存知なんですか？
Kasuka-san, how do you know so much?
多分私はさらにその翌年に殺される人物も知っています。
I think I know who will be killed the year after that.
お前さん、何を言っとるんだ？
What are you saying?
第一、去年の翌年中たら、そら今年のことだろうが。
Besides, the year after last year means it's this year.
私が殺されます。
I'll be killed. No, Rika!
昭和58年6月、
It'll be in June of 1983.
つまり今月です。
In other words, this month,
古手理香が殺されます。
Rika Furude will be killed. Oishi and the others were at a loss for words. Kasuka had talked about the four mysterious incidents. Although he had been far away, he belonged to a very special unit of public safety. It could have been possible for him to find out about their secret investigations. That was why it wasn't that odd for Kasuka to mention the series of mysterious deaths, even though he had been far away from Hinamazawa. However, not only did he know about them, but he also named the next victim. Oishi and his co-workers had sobered up entirely.
赤坂さん、もう夜もだいぶ更けました。
Akasuka-san, it's getting late.
これ以上はお互いしんどいんで、担当直入に行きましょう。
We're all exhausted, so let me get to the bottom of this.
今の話は一体どういう意味ですか？
What is it that you're trying to say?
はい。
Okay.
今の話は私がひなみ沢を訪れた昭和53年6月に彼女から聞かされたことなんです。
All of this is what she told me when I was in Hinamizawa in June of 1978.
なんですって？
What? Oishi couldn't believe what he was hearing. He was left speechless.
信じられない気持ちはわかります。
I know, it's hard to believe.
それを聞いた当時の私も幼い少女の気まぐれな予言遊びくらいに思いました。
When she told me back then, I thought she was just being a mischievous little girl.
ですが彼女は5年目に自分が殺されることを私に訴えました。
But she told me she was going to be killed in the 5th year running.
それはつまり自分を助けてほしいという明白なサインだったと思うんです。
In other words, she asked me to help her, I think. A smooth 23 months. Thank you so much. Exactly 23 months of knowing
今回
each other.
ひなみ沢を訪れた最大の目的
A
は
special occasion.
彼女を訪ね本当に今でも私の助けを必要としているのかを確かめるためだったんです。
In other words, she asked me to help her, I think. My main reason for coming to Hinamizawa was to check up on her. I wanted to see if she still needed my help.
赤坂さん、私はね、今年で定年なんです。
Akasuka-san, I'm retiring this year.
連続開始事件の1年目に殺されたおやっさんの仇をどうしても年内に取りたいんです。
I want to take revenge on the people who killed the manager on the first year.
ですから私はどんな些細な情報でも怪しげな情報でも飛びつきます。
I'll jump on any lead I can find.
だから一応確認させてください。
So let me just confirm this with you.
今の話は冗談じゃないですよね。
What you just said isn't a joke, is it?
何かの冗談なら今のうちにそうだと言ってくださいよ。
If it is, you'd better tell me right now.
私は真実しか言っていません。
I'm telling you the truth.
フルデリカは昭和53年6月に今の話を私に語ったんです。
Rika Furude told me this in June 1978.
ただ当時の私はそれを重要な話とは思わずそれを大石さんに伝えませんでした。
But at the time, I didn't think anything of it, so I didn't tell you about it.
それは申し訳なく思います。
I'm very sorry.
いや、それは無理もないぞい。
No, you didn't know.
そんな話、突然されても鵜呑みにできん。
Even if you had told me, I don't think I would have believed you.
4年連続した今だから聞ける話だわい。
Only because it happened 4 years in a row do we believe you now. Or she must have been thinking that if only Akasuka had told him that back then, he could have saved his friend. But what the old man from forensics just said was right too. Oishi wouldn't have believed him back then. And his friend would have died anyway, and Oishi would have been left with regret and not being able to do anything.
そうですね。
That's true.
いえ、すみませんでした。
I should be the one apologizing.
しかし、フルでリカ。
Still, Rika Furude.
フルでリカがどうして？
Why Rika Furude?
今のひなみ沢の状況は私も詳しくありません。
I don't know exactly what's going on in Hinamizawa right now.
一応当時の新聞でダム計画の無期凍結が決定されたというのは読みました。
I read in the papers that the dam construction plan was halted indefinitely.
ですからダム戦争は終わって平穏な生活を取り戻していると信じていたのですが。
That's why I assumed Hinamizawa was peaceful now.
ダム戦争は確かに終わった。
Dam conflict is over, yeah.
だがな、その翌年からな、通称お社様のたたりと呼ばれる連続開始事件が毎年起こるようになってな。
But starting the following year, these mysterious deaths, known locally as the Curse of Oishiro-sama, started to occur annually.
その詳細についてはまさに お前さんが今言った通りの内容なんだわい。
And it played out just like you said.
どうやら私は彼女に大変な何かを託されたような気がしてきました。
I think she's entrusted me with something extremely important.
大石さん、ズバリお尋ねします。
Oishi-san, let me ask you.
今年フルでリカが殺されるのはあり得る流れだと思いますか？
Do you think it's possible for Rika Furude to be killed this year?
フルデ夫妻はダム戦争当時消極的だったことを理由に後ろ指を刺されていたという話があります。
They say that the Furude couple was held in low regard for being so passive during the dam conflict.
それで3年目のたたりにあったというのが定説です。
That might be the reason why the curse fell upon them in the third year.
その流れから言えばフルデリカ殺しは
So I do think that Rika Furude's death,
あり得るんですね。
it's possible, isn't it? Oishi nodded slowly.
明日フルでリカに接触を試みるつもりです。
I think there's a missing two there. I plan to get in touch with Rika Furude tomorrow.
どうやら彼女に直接話を聞くしかないようですからね。
I think the best thing to do is to talk to her directly.
赤坂さん、その話がもし本当だったら私も一つ噛ませてもらえませんか？
Akasuka-san, if what you say is true, why not let me handle it?
私が一緒じゃまずかろうと思いますので今はお任せしますが、フルでリカの話はどうやら私にとっても重要なものになりそうです。
It's not that I don't want your help, but what Rika Furude said is important to me.
こりゃお前さん、なんともとんでもない土産を持ってきてくれたもんだの。
My, you've come bearing quite the incredible gift.
わしもちょいと面白くなってきたぜ。
I'm getting a bit intrigued myself.
煙に巻かれたまま終わると思ってた怪事件が解けるのに立ち会えるとは思わなんだ。
I never thought I'd see the day when all the mysteries were solved.
しかし疑問もありますね。
Well, I have some questions too.
どうしてこんな重要な話を私だけに打ち明けたのでしょう。
For instance, why did she tell me something that important?
助けを求めるなら東京から出張してきた私ではなく地元警察のはずなのですが。
If she wanted help, why didn't she ask the local police? Why me, a guy on a business trip from Tokyo?
多分地元警察を信用しきれないところがあったのでしょう。
I bet she doesn't have faith in the local police. Rika Furude says ACAB.
私も泥臭い人間です。
I'm a little unrefined.
リカさんの信用を得ていなかったのかもしれない。
Rika-san probably doesn't trust me.
それに沖宮署には S 号の駅のかかった連中も少なからず潜んでいます。
Besides, there are people with connections to the Sonozaki family at the Okinomiya PD.
つまり東京から来た私が一番信用できたということですね。
In other words, she trusted me, the guy who came from Tokyo, more than anybody.
悔しいですが、そういうことになるでしょうな。
Yeah, I guess.
だとしたら大石さん、
If that's the case, Oishi-san,
この件他にはないみつに。
please don't tell anybody else about this.
もちろんですとも。
Of course I won't.
とにかく明日、品見沢でリカさんに接触して確かめていただけますか。
Anyway, you're planning to catch up with Rika-san tomorrow in Hinamizawa?
話はそれからです。
We can start from there. Is that an interesting, a mildly, well, I don't know, mildly sounds condescending, but an interesting chapter. An hour of reading there. Started with Rina drunkenly going and dying, I guess, at the hands of Takano. Oh my god. And then we got to see that police group have a drunken reunion, and then piece together why the hell was Rika talking all that weirdness 5 years ago, and how was she able to predict all those people dying. And I assume it's set up then where they'll have a big long discussion with Rika. Akasuka, the knight in shining armor, But yeah, I don't think I can read more than that. Honestly, tonight I started. It's not that I started late necessarily. It's just I'm so tired. I'm tired on a Tuesday. Tired Tuesday, they call it. I'm gonna get lots of sleep hopefully tonight and come back tomorrow night for the return of Pokemon. Third Pokemon Legends Arceus stream. I'm looking forward to it. I've already got the new batch of names to name the new Pokemon we caught in the last stream. So we'll do a lot of stuff in that. I'm enjoying my time. It's only been 2 streams of that so far, but it's been a blast. So that'll be tomorrow night. And then obviously no streams on Thursday. It's the plan. Pokemon's been fun. Like, I thought I would have fun. But return to Pokemon with Legends Arceus, it's been a surprisingly high amount of fun. Oh, I thought I quitted game there. How do I quit to menu? There you go. That was the option I was looking for. Close it out. Thank you. Appreciate it. You have a nice night as well. Take it easy. Stay safe. Stay well. Till another stream. Until tomorrow night. Waving goodbye.